Team H&K, he's going to pardon her. He's going to do it. Just go ahead and be prepared. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Ghislaine Maxwell, or Ghislaine Maxwell, that's the pronunciation of it, is seeking a pardon from Donald Trump. As if it couldn't have get any more of a joke, okay? The Family Guy bit continues. The saga is only moments away from becoming Peter's next punchline. Look, he's gonna do it. We all know he's gonna do it. And the DOJ had a meeting with Ghislaine. She gave over 100 names on the client list to victims and individuals that may have been in the files. And I already know that she's going to have a lot, right? I mean, because think about it. How long has she been sitting in this cell? How long has she been sitting thinking about it when she's going to actually get a fair trial? Because she was, in some way, you can say, mistrialed unfairly. But I think we can all come to the conclusion that Ghislaine was a co-conspirator and a repertoire to the entirety of, you know, Epstein's client list. You know, she was the, whether or not you want to say she was efficient, but she definitely was, she was the main accomplice by his side, helping him foster in multiple victims. And so, you know, now that we see they're continuing on with this saga, Trump has been sitting here being asked questions. He's like, oh, nobody's asking me these questions, but everybody's asking him questions. Okay. He's now saying that, you know, hey, I could pardon her. I could or could not. It's up to him to decide, obviously. But if, you know, Ghislaine or Ghislaine is being in these rooms, having these conversations, has it occurred that it doesn't really matter? Because why would she put herself in a position to jeopardize her potential litigious chance at being able to get a pardon? Pardon me. I believe that she's obviously not going to, you know, compromise herself in any capacity. And her brother, following an interview on Piers Morgan, had a decent, I want to say, presentation of why he believes his sister is innocent. Now, he has no case because there's just too much evidence, right? Epstein had his whole entire house completely wired up, you know, photos we have, it's just too damning, right? Now they could have, you know, plausible deniability if that weren't the case, or if we didn't know there was an island, or we didn't have proof of finances, or if we didn't know his ties to Israel, then we could possibly be like, okay, maybe not. But there's just too much. Also, the fact that they're both incarcerated and Epstein's dead. So, you know, why would you kill a dead man? Or why would an innocent man kill themselves? You get what I mean? I mean, maybe, but what are the odds? Okay. Literally like 0 to none. So will Trump pardon Ghislaine? That is the question. And what I really want to know is, how is the fan base going to respond to this? How are people going to, what is the reaction when he does, inevitably? What is the reaction to this happening? And he's also said that he's looking to pardon Diddy. Okay, because we all had these conversations about, well, if they're treating Diddy this way, how are they going to treat Epstein or Ghislaine this way, right? Because obviously they're all kind of friends at the end of the day. And what's really significant is the fact that they were going a lot harder on Diddy for certain charges that weren't as up to that level. And what I mean is, some of the charges that they were trying to prosecute was like basically like sex crimes. Now, I know you can talk about like prostitution or like obviously harm, but I don't think some of that wasn't. Most of it was like the actual domestic violence that was actually the real problem. And some of them, I'm pretty sure, was like, you know, they're raiding his house with baby oil. They're like they're trying to like do this like these like, oh, these sex offs are like illegal or something like that, right? Where like he was getting prosecuted for having male prostitutes or something like that, being a freak. And so, but that's not the only reason why. And it's because Diddy is, I think we all know, evil, because he's allegedly have had people, you know, disappear. And so we can't be like, oh, it's okay. I mean, if you're crazy enough, sure, but no. And so I think that both of them should be in jail. okay? And there should be no, oh, it's okay now. It's just okay to just be that person. It's not. But I think that there's a weird sort of innuendo between both of them, where it's like one of them's getting less prosecution for something that's arguably worse, and one of them's getting way more prosecution, more flack of something that is technically not as bad, even though they're both bad. Regardless, let's look at this right here, because it says, and this is a video from Trump here.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to say is that Todd is a great attorney, but you ought to be speaking about Larry Summers. You ought to be speaking about some of his friends that are hedge fund guys. They're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times.
Okay.
I never went to the island. I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Where did you see the people laying outside? Right across the
He's so guilty.
Well,
Look, dude, every time he answers these questions, he gives the most guilty answer response ever. He's like so inadvertently guilty. He always flusters. He goes, oh, Bill Clinton's been to the island 28 times. Sure, okay. Great. I wanted that information. Thanks for confirming that for me. Now I need more, because I know he's not the only one. Okay. I know that allegedly, okay, what I can conspiratize, that there has been more prominent figures, right? Apparently Chris Tucker's possibly been on that thing. Maybe even Netanyahu. Who knows? Ellen DeGeneres, more than likely. Her setup looks like the Epstein Island, that little castle, blue castle thing. You know what I mean? It's giving guilty. So we'll have to see whether or not he pardons her, but I think we can all come to a prime speculation that the odds are in favor that he's gonna do it. And when he does it, I really want to see people's reaction, because Twitter's gonna have that moment. It's gonna be one of those moments on Twitter. It's gonna be one of those moments. So we'll have to see. And I know that this is obviously like not the greatest biz because of, you know, this stupendous grandstanding on Israel, but and obviously going through a lot right now, but it's just so obvious that they're like, oh, we're gonna like, think about it. Attorney General Pam Bondi was supposed to drop these files. Thomas Macy goes, oh, they're non-binding, they're not even real, they're fake. The DOJ goes, actually, we have Trump's name all in these files, and we have over 100,000 Epstein files ready to drop, ready to release. So I don't understand this like brigading, this obfuscation, this like lie, this clear and obvious divergent deceptive nature. Tulsi Gabbard's sitting here as Secretary Press issuing this citation to Obama. Obama's like, I just want people to have gay friends, and Russiagate's not even real. So what are we doing? You know, he's with Jerome Powell. Powell's like, this is not how much the building costs. You're talking about a building that's like 5 years old, right? Jerome's like, bruh, why are you trying to fire me? Trump's like, Jerome, you suck as chairman. Get out. And he kind of does, because I remember there's this one time, bro, the market opened, and Jerome, he never drops rates. It's like whenever he's wearing this tie, just go ahead and assume he's not dropping rates. He's wearing that tie, you know that tie I'm talking about. He's not dropping them. It's so annoying. Regardless, it's like this like obfuscation, you know, go to France, go to Scotland, put all this stuff in news, and obviously he has to be proactive with the president still. But you know what we want. You know what we want. So whatever, okay? It's just funny to me that we have to sit here and argue these, like, we have to like beg. We're begging, oh, please drop the files. And you already know when they do it, people are going to be like, if it's not a hit piece, everyone's going to be like, they're all fake. No, it's not real. I don't believe it. So we'll have to see. But what are the odds he pardons her? I think like 10 out of 10. So, okay. With that being said, Team H&K, hope you guys enjoyed, okay? And I will see you guys when you're older. Old enough.